this is Immortal TG here, and today we're adjusting my mic, and we are talking about lane freezing, especially how to counter a lane freeze. Now, this game is an example of that. I got Crunch in the offlane, which is me, and we're up against Greystone, who's also in the offlane. Greystone employs freeze lane tactics on me, so the way I handle it, I feel like it will help a lot of people in their game, especially the offlaners who struggle against these kind of tactics. Again, I'm not up against a carry, I'm not up against a mage, I'm up against somebody who belongs in that lane. So seeing how this unfolds and showing you guys how to deal with lane freeze, this is what this video is for. So we're gonna watch the replay together, and we'll just go play by play. I'll let you guys know what my thoughts are going through the game and why I do the movements that I do and why I behave the way I behave. This game does end in a surrender of the enemy team after their Greystone gets very frustrated and DCs. So let's check it out. And we'll toggle the timeline. Foliage? What's that? Okay, never mind. So, right now, it's the feel out session. We're poking each other. Greystone definitely will win against me in the pokes because of that spinning sword, so he's doing two sources of damage at the same time. But I know that spin sword has a very high cooldown. So once he throws that out, I can basically start trying to out poke him. And at this moment in time, I'm still not aware that he wants to freeze the lane. But you'll notice I do my best to try and get away from his spinning sword as soon as he activates it. So everybody's still feeling each other out. I've fallen behind a level. That's fine. That happens. But this was my clue. He's not really pushing with his minion wave. So that tells me that he has no interest in diving my tower early, or probably at all. I think he's going to try and freeze the lane, starve me of XP, starve me of levels, and snowball effect the offlane. So that's why I started to slow down my minion clearing as well, after I noticed that. So he initiates on me. He's got the spin sword, but I have the defense of my tower. The reason why he did that was because he's trying to chip me to the point where I go back to my base. Because if I go back to base, then I'm not getting XP from this lane freeze. So I try and tank as many hits as possible to preserve the tower to get my lane to come up so I can keep the lane frozen on my side, but too weak to tank that much. I didn't notice that Seraph there, so I get dived, I get ganked. Greystone gets to basically take advantage of this lane situation. So while that wave is pushed, he's going to try and starve me of this Scion here. Alright. So he's got the Scion, and he's running right back to the minion wave, staying on his side, heading back to base so he can go get his buy. Lane freezing can definitely be like a very frustrating thing to face. I think if you lose your focus and if you lose your concentration, you are definitely going to lose the lane. You're going to start making moves out of desperation, out of frustration, and you're just not going to be playing the way you should be playing or the way you ought to be playing. You're not thinking coherently anymore because you're so angry that this guy is using these coward tactics that you just want to kill him as quickly as possible, and if you could, you bag him. So I was actually surprised with how long that spin lasted. Now, of course, we have full view of where everybody is on the map, but of course, I'm unaware. So we get out of there. The thing about Crunch that makes him difficult in the offlane is Crunch is a slow starter. He's a grower, right? You need to grow to level 6 in order for him to really be able to dominate the offlane or any opponent in front of him, because Crunch is a 1v1 monster. So I know he wants to freeze lane. So I'm not even going to bother trying to like make a situation out of it. Instead, because I knew he was freezing lane, I came to gank mid lane. I can still get gold off the kill. I can put my other teammate in mid lane, who's Noobchan. I can put her in an advantageous situation, right? And I have my eye on the map the whole time. Greystone is not interested in diving my tower, which is fine because I see my junglers coming. So this is the second way to deal with lane freezing. So hold on, let's whoops.
An allied tower is under attack.
Let's pause for a second. So two things have happened so far to deal with lane freezing. One, once my minion wave pushed to his tower, I know he's going to try and keep it there for as long as possible. I'm not going to sit there and watch him and he's going to outpoke me and possibly kill me. Because the problem with lane freezing is he only has, Greystone only has the distance from Chimera to his tower to cover if he needs to retreat. His tower will keep him safe. There's not much I can do. If I try and get to him, I don't know if his jungler is somewhere off in this offlane jungle waiting for me to push him so they both can jump me. Too many unsafe things can happen if I push Greystone from this point, right? So we are doing something called tower crashing. So we break the freeze by killing his minions. My jungler's here, I'm here. We have a small minion wave, but a minion wave nonetheless. The hope is that these minions can get into the tower so Chimera and I can poke at the tower a bit and come out. That's what's happening now. The other thing that happened was when he got close to his tower, like in this position here, instead of trying to joust with him in a losing situation, because again, if I get ganked, I have all of this ground to cover. There is no way I get away. And if I burn my TP, I'm always like a firm believer of if you lose your TP, the next time you get caught, you're guaranteed to die. So I want to preserve my TP as much as possible, and I want to be smart. So I know for sure the enemy jungler has 3 opportunities to gank me. Here, here, and here. So being this far out, trying to challenge Greystone, the lane's frozen, I can't get him. He's buying time for his Seraph, who's over here, I don't know that, but who's over here in in her dual lane jungle. It gives her time to rotate on me because I'm so tunnel visioned on him, on Greystone, that when she arrives, he's going to jump on me, she's going to jump on me, and then I got to run 3 fog walls to get to my tower. I'm dead. So instead of fighting that there, I decide to cut through the jungle here and head up to mid lane, where I can help Noobchan. And as you saw earlier, we did a play that pushed the mid lane forward. It got Gideon to back. It gave us control of the map. So again, right now, Chimera and I are standing there. Chimera is going to keep the lane over there. I noticed that he jumped the tower, so I was like, oh, are we doing this? He jumped the tower. If he stayed, I would have helped him keep the lane up there. But as you can see, my ward went off and we saw Seraph. So it's best to back down because, again, they have tower advantage. We're not going to win that. I make the decision to go back, and it's time to buy. Greystone, on the other hand, he knows I'm gone. So now he's going to try and push as much as possible. He thinks he can grab my tower in time. It's just too much ground for him to cover. I'll be back in time.
An allied tower.
He's going to deny me the Scion. now we got the recrunch. So, what I'm thinking here now is, if there's one disadvantage to lane freezing, is your tower is under constant pressure. Because you're doing everything you can to keep it as close to your tower as possible. Which means I can destroy this tower before he destroys mine. If that happens, he has failed his role as an offlaner, and he has failed to freeze the lane to his advantage. But, again, my minions, let's pause. My minions, right now, are at his tower. And I know he's going to keep it there. I don't know if Seraph is going to try and gank me because he has it frozen. He has his ult. So it's definitely going to be a big disadvantage to me. Instead of trying to challenge him here, I'd rather him think the lane got abandoned so he can push the lane up further and I can get him later. But in the meantime, instead of me just waiting here to deal with Greystone, I can come to mid and help deal with the mid lane with Nuchan, which is what we're off to do now. So I'm over here, I'm waiting for him to jump, which he does, and he TPs as well. So we burnt a TP, and we controlled the mid lane again. We protected mid lane tower. Mid lane control is very important. I understand that as well. So while I may not be able to... Oh, Seraph came, so I came back to help. So I'm waiting to see what I can do. There's no plays that can be made. My teammates back down, that's fine. I can head back to my lane now and see what the progress is like over there. I head back. I'm only one level behind so far. So it's not so bad. Now how I initiate, I pop him up. Because I got the recrunch now, so I know I can fight him. I got the CC to handle even the spin move. Pop him up again. And the reason why I did that, the reason why I attacked him and dived him so heavily and fought going backwards, is because look at where the lane is now. So this is a third tactic that you can use. I don't know what the correct term is for it, but I just call it pulling the lane. I pulled the lane towards me now. I attacked Greystone, the minions all aggroed on me. In the middle of aggroing on me, I'm going back as much as possible. Because now, we have the lane on my side. I can dive him safely, and if he wants some, he's going to have to deal with me in my tower now. See? Now I'm back to level 7. I'm assuming he's going to go back, so I can kill these minions, clear the wave, and get his tower back under pressure. The reason why I'm not going to reverse freeze him is because now I can fight in 2 lanes instead of 1. Once I have him push back to his tower, I will rotate to mid and help push mid tower. And I set the ward up to watch out for the gank. I see that he's going to do his lane freeze again. I don't even bother wasting any time. I'm going back to mid lane. Right? I'm fighting in 2 lanes at once. This is how you deal with lane freezing and still being useful to your team. Alright? And there he goes. We got him killed, we got the assist, we got some XP off of that. We're getting the lane controlled. I switched over there. Sorry, Tyrant, I didn't mean that. But we're getting the lane controlled, and we got a level. So we're not falling behind in levels. We're not being a hindrance to our team. We are turning a 5-on-5 into a 5-on-4 because Greystone is just simply not... He's not being a threat. He's actually hurting his team doing this. He's allowing me too much freedom to head over to mid lane and basically gank his mid lane. While yes, he's denying me Scions, that's okay. Because we can put the pressure on him. So now we're going to come back and try and control the lane again. I'm not interested in freezing the lane. I want to fight in 2 lanes at once. So I'm going to clear this lane as fast as I can. Now, the reason why I'm standing in front of my tower like this is to prevent the minions from aggroing the tower instead of aggroing me. This is how I preserve the tower's life. So when I do leave, I don't leave my tower in such a vulnerable situation. My tower's not getting attacked. Crunch is strong enough to deal with all these minions on his own that I don't really need a minion wave. The damage is not big enough to be threatening anymore. So anytime you want to save your tower or preserve your tower, stand outside of the ring. When you're outside of the ring, the minions will aggro to you. They won't even go by you to attack the tower. So you increase your tower's life expectancy. They aggroed beyond me because now my minions pushed out. And again, I'm not going to freeze the lane. I want to push it. I want to push it as far up as possible because I want to keep being that hindrance. There I go. Lane's going up. I'm not even going to bother with. I'm not going to entertain Greystone. We're going to go get Gideon again. And yeah, again, we can deny the river bugs as well. So here I come for Gideon once more, putting damage on him. I may not be able to kill him, but I am able to stop him from controlling the mid lane, and I create this anxiety for him because now you just don't know if you're going to get jumped by the jungler or if you're going to get jumped by the off lane. Is it safe for you to push the mid lane? Like, there's a lot of question marks that Gideon is running through right now. And I'm a level 9, Greystone's a level 9, even though Greystone has been freezing the lane on me, right? And I'm gone, so he doesn't feel a sense of danger. He wants to try and get to my tower as fast as possible, but here I am. And now I got a lot of information. I'm stronger than him. Alright, look at his health. I dashed out of the explosion. Couldn't keep the lane outside of the tower because Greystone was still present. So I couldn't keep the lane out of the tower, which is fine. But I know now that I'm stronger than him. So I'm not afraid to challenge him. Alright, I want to clear this wave because I want to get back to mid lane as quickly as possible. And continue to help my team.
An allied tower has been destroyed.
So, this is a very important moment here too, right? I have minion advantage. If I was on comms with my jungler, or if my jungler was aware of what was happening, I could have typed to him, so I'm not saying that this is his fault. This is my fault. I didn't communicate with him at all, and he doesn't know what I'm thinking. But if we were under some form of communication, whether it was through pings, text chat, or on headset, what I would tell him is, I'm going to dive his tower, right? So my jungler would come with me, we would clean up the wave and move with a bigger wave together and just dive his tower. That's what could have happened in this scenario because now my wave is in his tower. So this is the fourth way to deal with lane freezers. You and your jungler crash his lane, destroy it, delete it as fast as possible, and continue to poke at his tower because eventually that tower is going to go. And then the lane freeze won't matter anymore. So that's the fourth way of dealing with it. Right? I'm under his tower, but I know I can't do anything with this. So it's best to just let that wave go through. I know he wants to freeze it. That's okay. So we're off. Back to help the mid lane. Deny the river for Gideon. I'm on comms with Noobchan, so she knows that I took the offlane river, so she came to help me with Greystone, because Greystone is now realizing what's happening. But he realized a little too late. So Kira, who I'm also on comms with, just snatched him up, got him killed. G3 Tyrant, you guys know him from Twitch. He's in the dual lane still, holding it down. I return to my lane. I know Greystone is there, so I want to take advantage of this moment. Crash his minion waves. There we go. So what we're doing now, we're going to crash his minion waves. We have about 5 seconds to try and get to his tower. Again, I got an advantageous wave coming through. We're going to go through, and we're going to start knocking on his tower a little bit. put some pressure on him, right? You want to freeze the lane, freeze the lane. I'm always going to be close to your tower. Always. Then, I can just leave.
An allied tower is under attack. Killing spree.
Alright, so I'm confident that he's going to freeze the lane, so I'm coming to help Noob Chan in mid again. I deny the river. The reason why I took it, because my mana was lower than hers. In order to help her, I need mana as well. He must have saw us coming or something, so that's fine. Noob Chan went to go grab the dual lane river. Coming back through to go support my lane. And I'm not going to fight them there. I'm going to bring them as close to my, as close to my wave as possible. And here we go, once more. He's under his tower. I think, no, that wave is not strong enough to handle that. I'll wait for my next wave. But I have the pressure now. If you look at the difference of tower health between my health and his health, my next dive is going to destroy that tower. So he's got to work extra hard now. The pressure's on him. And every time I leave my lane, I have my eye on the mini-map. So I know when he's coming a little too close for my liking that I can come back around and deal with him. Until then, I'm going to try and make a play with my mid lane. May as well, right? It's not like I can do anything with Greystone right now. So let's go do something with Gideon. He dove in. So he's in there using his ult. I come through with the help.
An allied tower is under attack.
He backs down. That's fine. Looking at the map, Greystone's now crossing the mid point. I'm uncomfortable with that. So I'm going to head back and go deal with Greystone. And again, I can see his X-ray because of my minions. So I know he's just standing around, waiting the last touch. He's not trying to be a threat. He's not trying to be a danger. He's giving me too much leeway. That's basically what I'm trying to say. Like, he's giving me too much freedom to just move.
An allied tower is under attack.
Fly!
Because he has his ult, he's feeling insecure. That's fine though. I know that's what he's aiming for. Problem is, I had no mana.
Unreal.
Now I have the information of being the only one alive, so I'm trying my best to be close to my tower and just stay safe. It wouldn't be wise to make any plays when you're the only one up.
An allied tower is under attack.
Good job, jungler. Alright, so I'm low on mana and I need mana, and I don't feel threatened by Greystone at all. Like, he's running all the way back. He's not even, he could kill that minion wave and give himself an advantageous wave over here. He didn't have to go all the way back there, but he ran back because he wants to freeze. Oh, my bad. My fault, my fault. So right now, kill-wise, we're not doing so well. It's 10-3. Greystone comes under my tower. That's great. That's what we want. I feel I can kill him here. Dive punch. And we got him. And for good measure, we put a spray on his dead body. Right? So I have 30 seconds. More than enough time. Right? This breaks his lane freeze completely. trying to get in there, but I'm like, oh, tower. This is buying the enemy too much time to respawn. My wave comes through. This tower's finished. There you go. And look at the health of my tower. We're not even halfway done yet. So now I have the freedom of movement. I can help out my team.
An enemy has been slain. Unreal.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna get mid lane pushed up now. We want the mid tower
An allied
next.
tower is under attack.
So I know Gideon is dead, so I'm gonna start touching the mid tower. Gideon's still not up, so look what we're gonna do. We're just gonna take this tower. Revenant botched that. He put me in an ult, and it gave me the chance to get away from Seraph, Zinx. The Revenant shouldn't have done that. That was a big misplay for Revenant. That's okay. I noticed that my tower's about to get pushed. Time to go back. And at this point, the lane freeze is broken. Like, his ploy, it failed. So he can't freeze the lane anymore. It's only going to hurt his team even more. I'm coming to go save my tower. I wonder if I make it in time. Because right now our towers is made of pillows. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get in front of him while he swings at my tower. Because if I can get him to just accidentally hit me, me and my tower can get rid of him. So he ults. That's fine. It's not going to save him. Crunch in a one-on-one situation is too dangerous. We put an emote over our head for good measure. Mop that up. He's back in 30 seconds. I just wait for my wave, but I'm standing here to deal with this wave. I don't want this wave to push any further than me. I want to put that maximum tower pressure on him. So we do that. Tower's focused on my minions. Let's go in. Greystone still hasn't spawned. A lot of pressure on him. My next wave is coming through, so that's 2 waves that dive the tower now. The tower's gone. Not gonna stick around because I have a feeling Greystone and Seraph would jump me. It's not worth it. We got the 2 towers and that's fine. Right? And this is the dangers of lane freezing. I have got the offlane completely open to inhibitor now. Our towers, we still have inner defenses. Right? We still have 3 towers defending our inhibitors. Your towers are going to go eventually, so don't stress too much about losing the outer ones. Just make sure that you are the first to take a tower. And you have map control. Right? It's 16-9. We're losing in kills, but we're winning in map control. So, and take a look at that. I'm a level 15, he's a level 14. I've out-leveled him now. Because I'm constantly rotating, I'm not waiting for my minions to come through, and I'm not going to let him stall me out so his jungler can gank me. No, I'll just rotate. I don't need to stand there and watch you farm. I'll go get some farm myself.
Forward.
Right? And again, I have the confidence of knowing I'm stronger. So I'm not going to run. I'm going to stay in this. I'm going to fight. I have the Mutilator feeding me. I got the augmentation damage, the Earth Shatter for extra damage off of abilities. Froze the ground, so he can't really go nowhere. And again, if you're going to use those tactics, those cowardly tactics, expect a crunch signature on your deck. right?
Double kill.
So, again, I'm going to ride this wave and push up. Because, yeah, my team is not doing so well. So, the best thing I can do now for my team is try and put the enemy team on as much defense as possible. I'm going to push this, and if they back, it returns map control to us. We're 3 down right now.
Allied defenders.
So, we take out the inhibitor.
Allied towers under attack.
Now the lane is wide open. The lane is wide open. I've done my part. I've done my job. I forced the team to come back. They had to go back to their base. And in doing so, that forces them to give up map control overall. So now that I have my lanes pushing all the way to enemy core, I have the freedom to move a lot more and even across the map to dual lane and help everybody get their lanes under control now. Because at this moment in time, yes, I am the strongest. I'm the strongest player on the map between my team and their team, right? I'm a unit right now, so I can go ahead and impose my will on other lanes to empower my other teammates. Right? And at this point, their Greystone has DC'd. He's probably upset that he didn't get any help during his lane freezing thing, which is fine. We catch Gideon. And this is where the game basically falls apart, right? We're close to surrender, as you guys can see through the timeline. We're close to surrender now. And take a look at the score. We're the red team, right? We're orange team. So overall, we got 11 kills. Overall, they got 19 kills. They were beating us in kills. But because of the Greystone not rotating and just so focused on freeze lane tactics and trying to starve me, he should have realized that I'm just going to rotate and get levels somewhere else. Right? And like I said, I know I'm the strongest person on the map thanks to that Greystone. So I'm just going around just recklessly pushing whoever I can push. Right? And now they're aced. Everybody gets the crunch signature and they surrender. Right? That's the surrender right there. And I'm sure that's the Greystone that they blame for that. I'm rotating. He's not counter-rotating. He's not helping his mid when I go to the mid. Like, there was just so many things that Greystone didn't do because he thought lane freezing is the ultimate tactic and that I was just going to stick around and watch him do it. It's not going to happen. So I hope this video helps people who are dealing with enemy lane freezers. I hope that, you know, it was insightful, it was educational, and it just opens up your eyes to the many possibilities that you can still do. Because on a technicality, I became an off jungler. I started cutting through the jungle and just ganking mid lane and just coming back when the enemy pushes my lane halfway through. So this is my way of handling lane freezing. So just to review, let's go over everything that's happened real quick. So when dealing with a lane freezer, number 1, push your lane to their tower. Get it to their tower because you know what they're going to do. They're going to try and stall it. Number 2, make sure before you, 1.5, before you push to the enemy tower, make sure that you are conscious of where their enemy jungler is because you could be setting yourself up for a gank. So make sure you ward your fog walls to make sure that you don't get ganked. Second step, once pushed to their tower, head over to the mid lane and give mid lane a help, clear out the minions, and have mid lane pressure the tower instead. Destroying mid lane tower gives the overall team map control because the most traffic happens in mid lane, right? And it gives the jungler a safer leeway to gank. Mid lane can come down and gank my off lane. So it just opens up so many more possibilities, right? Method number 3 is coordinate with your jungler. Have your jungler come through with you, destroy the minion wave, and crash the tower. Keep crashing that tower until it's destroyed. And just repeat that tactic over and over with your jungler. Method number 4 is attacking the enemy champion and running as far back as possible. So fighting backwards and pulling the lane towards your tower instead, so that you can set up for the reverse freeze, or you can get some farm off of him, right? So you're not losing out in farm and XP. Fight backwards. All right, so those are my 4 tips of dealing with lane freezing. And again, this happened in a match, Immortal TG, of course. So this happened in a match, so it worked for me, and there are a lot more better players than me. So I'm sure that it will work for you guys as well. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.